What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome on back to Mass Effect. So it is time to get on going with the Virmire assault, and since we know that this is an assault mission, I'm going to take Liara, and I'm obviously going to take Rex. He just seems, if you're doing a frontal assault on an enemy stronghold, Rex just seems like the man you're going to take. Like, we could take Tali for her hacking abilities and things like that, but how could you not take this guy in a frontal assault? And it's important to pay attention after we click accept here, because Kira here is going to give us a very valuable tip on what we can do along this mission to improve their chances of survival. It's not just them helping us, we get opportunities to help them here too. You know, of course, it's the first time our team's really been split up here since the start of the game.
Loud and clear.
Good. We'll start our push. We'll try to make it to the AA guns, but it might be up to you to finish the job. And Commander, if you see any way to undermine their defenses, we could definitely use the help.
Understood on that, and that is very important to pay attention to. There's going to be 3 little mini side objectives that we can take care of along the way that's going to help him and his team. We'll give him the, it's a Geth Pulse Rifle, I think. Yeah, it is, and the Geth Pulse Rifle doesn't transfer weapons and ammo, and that unfortunately did just nuke Rex's entire AR loadout. The Breaker is a little higher. Let's take a look at some of this stuff. Let's make sure that I have no upgrades here. Thunder, Tsunami, Kolyov. Okay, so this is the best stuff. So let's start up by giving you tungsten rounds. You're gonna need the bonus damage versus synthetics. We can give you combat optics, I guess. Let's give you 6% damage, and then we'll crank your combat optics on the back end of that. In terms of shotguns, well, wow, Armageddon is definitely an upgrade. Go ahead and take that. We'll drop tungsten rounds on this one too. Give him just max damage to anything synthetic. Honestly, we might even give you a frictionless material there too, just so you can pack a little extra beef. Which, speaking of, if they have shotgun upgrades, then we might have shotgun upgrades too. Let me look at some of this. Yeah, this'll do. This'll be the one. So let's do the same thing for us that we did for Rex. We'll put a frictionless on it for the bonus damage. We'll make sure that we're using tungsten rounds for the damage versus synthetics, and then we will stick a combat optics on too. That should just help us not get overheated and stuff like that when we're on our way here.
Shadow is on the ground. Repeat, Shadow is on the ground.
We're already getting engaged. Yeah, there's gonna be 3 little objectives. We gotta take a satellite out, we gotta destroy communications, and we gotta take care of a little pump. The first one is right here. Yeah, see, they'll radio ahead and tell you about problems that they're having along the path that they're trying to take. So right now they're having a hard time with turrets, so if we can figure out how to disrupt the targeting for those turrets, they're gonna make Shadow have a much easier team. Oh, sorry, we are Shadow. They're not Shadow, they are Jaido, I think. Get rid of that destroyer. Make sure we get our shields back to press up this hill. We're gonna keep our eyes open for a way to assist that fire team. He's already cooked. And if you look right here, triangulation tower, we can disrupt that. And now we've disrupted their communications, so now they're not going to be able to target Kaidan and Kirih's team. That'll boost them through that. And that is the first of 3, so keep your eye out. The next one is a satellite that you have to physically shoot at in order to disrupt. And then the last one right outside the main base is these fuel tanks that we gotta blow up to take care of the drone issue that they're having. But they'll tell you every time they're struggling with something, and you'll get confirmation in a voice line up ahead that you actually took care of the issue for them, like it'll tell you here in a second. Once you press on enough. There you go.
Lieutenant Alenko, take the heat off Manavai.
No, I'm sure Kaidan's giving him hell. You don't make lieutenant for free, so... I wonder what a classification Kaidan is. Because I know Commander Shepard is N7, which is as good as it gets. That's the elite of the elite. That's like SAS, Delta, SBS. That's like the peak of the mountain. You made it to the mountaintop if you got that kind of ranking. Can we lift a turret? We can't. Right. Future reference, we'll just fry their shields and take care of that like that.
Watch for comm stations.
There we go. Now you see about these sat strikes. took care of the satellite uplink. So now they're not going to get shelled from orbit anymore. We will hit you with that. Hit you with that. We're going to dip back behind cover. Take care of that. The drones are the badasses here, to be honest. Take care of the drones, you have a easier go of it. Drones are always the tough enemy, actually. That trend follows in Mass Effect 2 as well. The drones is what you're going to have trouble with in these straight up firefights, especially at a high level, right? Like, I'm not worried about a Geth. I'm worried about the drones that fly around and spray 2,000 RPM. Krogans, however, they can be still problematic. You still want to be careful with Krogans. Pull you out of cover, will lift you because you're alone. We'll hit that, that, and that. It's a pretty good combination. And hopefully we can get him dead before he hits the floor. Perfect. He never got a chance to use any of his BS. There's the aid station. Go ahead and blow that up just in case. And this one always makes me a little paranoid when I shoot it early, but it is destroyed. That used to be the satellite, so we did take care of that issue for them. Now we're going to be pressing on up into the base proper. That's where we are right now. The last location. Yep, that's what we got to take care of. Just pointed it out perfectly. And the recharge station is on this right-hand side, so clear right first. Clear that destroyer before he even reacts. Obviously, you're still on the watch out for Krogan. They're chunky, and since we're using tungsten rounds for the Geth, we don't have a whole lot of damage boosting capabilities with them. Here's the refuel stations. You can already see how much of a mess this is going to be. Don't get hit by the rockets, you will die. In fact, we're going to adrenaline boost that. And then we're going to hit this again. And get them down as fast as we can. Perfect. Flyers are destroyed, and the fuel pumps are all gone too, I believe. So that's going to be our extra Paragon rating for that. And that is all three things that we had to take care of along their way to get them up to the base. But we're not done yet. There is a final decision that can help them out. And that's going to be on a control panel up here. So I'll make sure to point that out when we get there. But before we get there, we got to clear that left side too. We skipped over that to get to the flyers in time. So we want to go to the left. There's loot there too, right up that little pathway. We'll grab that on our way back. This is all Krogan, so we'll do our thing here to bait them out if we can. We want them to charge. I might be able to suck his friend up regardless, just from the distance. Yeah, we did. Beautiful. He's cooked. Charge up and gap close. Unfortunately, you have fallen off the map. It's a shame because I want that XP. I nade down at you. No. Okay, so we might have lost the XP there. I'm not sure. Can we walk down here? We can. Okay, so we didn't lose XP. I'm going to go down here and deal with this Krogan because they're worth a lot. And I'm still interested in getting to that max level. So we'll go ahead and hit you with Singularity again so you don't 1v1 me while my teammates are upstairs. I'll just chop you down. Beautiful. I did try to stop him from falling by hitting him with that lift, but she just didn't pop it in time. And now we just gotta circle back and get that loot, and then we're gonna be at Saren's front doors, ready to kick it in and say hi. Love the music here too. Great atmosphere. We might be able to get cheeky and crack some shots over this ridge too. Perfect sniper's nest if you are sniping. Obviously I'm not, but still, might be able to sneak some shots in. Oh, they didn't spawn up yet. Cheeky. Okay, we can't sneak shots in because they didn't spawn. They're not going to spawn until we push. That's a cheeky way to get around that BioWare. I don't mind the frontal assault though. I'm going to go ahead and pre-get rid of these Geth barricades though. I don't need to be shooting through this when they all spawn up and try to say hello.
Air threat is not materialized. You may be getting some help from Shadow.
You are absolutely getting help from Shadow. And I assume we've been very helpful since we've been helpful enough for him to mention it. let's lift you. You warp. Hopefully we can get him dead before his friends hit the floor and manage to get back up. It's a Geth sniper, you're a problem. Be careful with all this stuff. You almost have that back, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing left quickly and get the sniper. I'm going to take cover. Now you're going to rip Singularity. We're going to wait for his shot to fire. And take this Krogan before he gets up and pops immunity. I think there might be a goody little safe all the way here to loot up. Let's see. That's a crate, not a safe. We're going to have one more comm thing to hit before we head into the base, and that's our last opportunity to help Kirahi's fire team, so definitely make sure you do that. And be careful what you pick too, because it's going to ask you a question, and you can get yourself a little less slack, or you can give them slack. But obviously when one side gets slack, the other side gets tighter, so you got to make it harder for you or harder for them. And spoilers, if you make it harder for them, it's not going to end good. So I would recommend you make it harder for yourself here. Especially since we have a teammate with them.
We've got access to base security. Should be able to cut the alarms from here. Might even be able to trigger alarms on the far side of the base. It'll clear the guards out for us, but they might be too much for the Solarian teams to handle.
Yeah, they've got enough trouble. Cut the alarms. We can handle the guards inside. We're not gonna swarm guards over to their side.
Just disable the alarms. We can handle any guards inside.
Yeah, we don't need to make them get killed just so that we have like 3 less guards to deal with, or however many are in here, right? There isn't enough in here to justify putting more heat on them. They're already taking most of the base heat to get us in here in the first place. And here you'll see we are not fighting Geth. We are fighting Indoctrinated. And if you look at their race, we're fighting Indoctrinated Solarians, which is obviously captured members of Kirahi's STG unit. So indoctrination is very real. And again, the Solarians are the galaxy brains, so if they can manipulate the minds of Solarians, humans, cakewalk. Get you off Liara. It's no deal. Not gonna be any trouble from this guy. He's a lonely Geth. Get his ass out of there. Both. Not looking like a Krogan breeding facility anymore when you have an entire Solarian Special Forces unit fighting against their own orders and their own people right now. I imagine the rest of them are probably up there fighting Kirahi. Which is all part of psychological warfare, right? If you find your own people, your own friends, imagine the psychotic barrier there. Like you're on mission, right? You have to fight the enemy. You go to the enemy lines and you see your best friend who you know he's not a bad guy. But he's shooting at you. He's trying to kill you.
Is someone out there?
And so now you have a decision to make. Do you kill your best friend? Do you let him kill you? Because he's not going to stop. And you hesitate for a second in a gunfight, it's over. It takes like 0.5 seconds for a bullet to travel through your face. You hesitate, you peek over, you try and talk sense into him, you're dead.
You don't want them to bunker up. Draw them out.
You see Caden being told to give a little ground right there. He's going a little too hard, kicking too much ass. Maybe the pep talk we gave him was a little much. That is why I sent Caden. He is a hell of a soldier. So they kind of look docile almost. This guy is the one that talked to us, I think.
And you're not wearing a lab coat. I guess I'm glad to see you. Lieutenant Gonto Imnes of the 3rd Infiltration Regiment, captured during recon. I assume the fleet was called in to destroy the base?
The transmission wasn't clear. The fleet's not coming.
I see. Then you must be the infiltration team. I know the captain. He will want this facility destroyed. My team was altered, indoctrinated. He knew about the breeding grounds. But the indoctrination is a greater threat, and far more horrifying. I watched good people reduced to mindless husks. It wasn't anything like. Others died during the experiments. I envied them.
So they took the entire unit and just turn them into mindless zergs and to use them against whatever's going to come here looking for them. I assume that they figured that whatever people they captured, the rest is still here, right? Probably interrogated them, got nothing, indoctrinated them, and then got everything. So Saren might literally know everything about what's going on here, because if they're indoctrinated, they'll give up. They'll just give the information you ask them. They're not thinking for themselves.
Do you know anything about the experiments they were conducting?
They were studying indoctrination. Symptoms, progress. Saren uses it to control his people, but I don't think he fully understands it. I don't know much else. I just saw what it did to the others. Turned them into empty husks. I can't end up like that, please. Let me out.
Okay, so if this guy is the control group, then he is okay. And he seems very put together right now. Everybody else indoctrinated that we've seen was either like barely mentally functioning or attacking us. So I think he's good. I think we could trust him. He seems very calm and put together right now.
I'm opening your cell, but then you're on your own.
Don't look back and hope to outrun the blast, A better chance than I had
Better than
before.
being locked in here.
Thank you, human. And good luck. You'll need it.
Okay, so one thing that I'm going to take care of quickly is the music is sounding a little loud in my ears right now. So let's put that down to 78 maybe. It's overpowering the dialogue a little bit, I think.
They are no threat to anyone save themselves. Their minds are gone.
Oh, this is no way to treat a prisoner. Kill them, sure, but to leave them like this.
Okay, so now we got choices. We can let them out. If we do that, they're gonna attack us. They'll compromise the mission. We can open the door and gun them all down, but I mean, it's quick and painless for the first one, but the second, the third, the fourth, assuming they're like animals at this point, they're gonna hear the bang, they're gonna see bodies drop in. That's not a very comfortable way to go. I think it's better to keep them locked up here. They don't really know what's going on. They'll die with the blast.
Leave them. Let's get moving.
Sometimes you must accept there is nothing you can do to help. It is a great pity.
Yeah, there's nothing we could do for them. If we let them out, they might attack us, or at least compromise the mission. And if we don't, they'll just explode. They'll die fast and peaceful if we just do nothing here. Which is better than just opening the door and gunning them down, I think. I understand they should be put out of their misery, because when you learn more about indoctrination, you'll know that most of them, when abandoned like that with no control signal, they'll just die to exposure. They don't use the bathroom, they don't eat, they don't drink, they have no will of their own to use anymore. They take care of themselves. It's no way to live. I would want to be put out of my misery if I was in their position, but we won't have to make that call because they're going to be put out of their misery anyway, because the blast is going to take care of that for them, so... And you see what happens when your Sagi gets cracked by Saren's indoctrination.
What do you want? I told you everything. Who are you? Alliance, right? I knew someone would come. It tried to break me, but it couldn't. I shut it out.
Slow down. I need to know where you came from.
Private Mano Savat of the 3rd Infiltration Regiment STG, sir. Captured well on reconnaissance 6 days ago. Glad to answer, sir. Never any questions from these bastards. Just whispers and poking and cutting. I'd say anything to get out and get some payback. That's not too much to ask, is it? A little payback?
This guy does not seem well like the other one did.
What do they do to you, soldier?
Experiments, but I don't know what for. The effect of incessant whispering on my shortening temper? Who knows? I just need out.
Something is not right here, Shepard.
I agree. This guy doesn't seem... He doesn't seem like he's doing okay.
Setting him free could endanger the mission.
No. I need to get out. This room is too small and it keeps talking and I
Yeah,
really want to get out.
there you go. The room keeps talking to him.
I need to get out. Let me out.
I can't. You're not thinking clearly. You'll pick up a gun, you'll shoot me in the back. If the room is talking to you, you're indoctrinated, and the second you get out here, you'll turn a pistol on one of us, and I'm not going to lose one of mine for you.
I can't take that chance.
Can't take that chance. No chance. I need to do what it says. I have to. Let me out.
Yeah, see?
Let me out. Let me out. Let me out.
He clearly had his orders there from whatever indoctrinated him. He was not planning on helping us secure this place. If anything, he was just going to be running some kind of mission or up against us. But the rest of these indoctrinated out of their misery. if there is any part of them left inside being forced to do this against their will, I imagine they would want to be put down, right? If they can even think like that. Maybe the indoctrination is honestly so strong, they might not even be anything left. They might think that they want to do this, right? To them, they might just be following critical orders, like, this is Saren's right, because that's how the matriarch explained it to us, right? You get swept in the tide, and then you think what he wants is correct. It's not like you even disagree. You just, to you, his word is like religion. So they're probably doing this of their own free will. But I know if we had talked to them before this with their loyalty, I mean, these are all special forces soldiers. They would die for the mission, right? So they would want to be stopped. I know I would. If I was putting the galaxy at risk like that against my orders, find my brothers and sisters in arms, I would want somebody to put me down like that. As much of a bitter pill to swallow as it is for leaving him in his cell like that when he's begging for help, it's already too late. It's gone. And we can't risk the galaxy on a whim that he might be able to resist somehow for a second, or that he might somehow help. We can't risk that. And I don't think he would, roles reversed, right? Everybody knows what they signed up for in this mission. All I do know, though, is Saren's got a lot to answer for, turning men's minds against themselves, making them kill their brothers in arms. And we know what you are. You are a husk. So you're doing experiments on husks, too, huh? Back up. Let's back up real far, actually. He's a sorry scientist. Okay, you are alone, so you're gonna get lifted. I'm not gonna blow the cooldown for singularity on 1.
What is going on here? Where are the guards? Where is Saren?
I hate overheat. Still overheated, huh?
No. Stay back. This is important work.
You're still on cooldown, fortunately. Let's back up a little. It sounds like there's a Krogan doctor in the back.
You will not destroy the work we have started.
Finally, my overheat just went down. Husks are chunky. Let's start working on you before you get out of stasis. Now we got the badass Krogan here, Dr. Dryas. So there are Krogan doctors, they're just rare. Finally, my overkill works. Okay, so that's the doctor, so hopefully there's no more of this. I think it's important for Rex to come along and see this too. We just got another Savant Biotic Amp as well, so whoever we give that to is going to have cracked out biotics. I think it's important to bring Rex here and let him see. You know, let him see where these Krogan are being made, why they're being made, that they don't even have their own minds, right? I'm sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm sure that these Krogan that are in here are all indoctrinated. There's no way they wouldn't be. Because Saren's not going to risk his Krogan militia turning on him. If he's not going to risk it with anybody else, then there's no way he's risking it with them. And we'll find out later that it's not necessarily even, you can't pinpoint who you do want to indoctrinate and who you don't. The signal that indoctrinates people is just a byproduct of being in proximity to all this stuff. It's not, you can crank it up to intentionally indoctrinate somebody, but there is always a base level of it there. Just being around it can cause these issues. And we're actually about to find that out with somebody we're about to meet. And this is where I really start to make renegade choices, actually.
Don't shoot! Please, I just want to get out of here before it's too late.
I'm not going to hurt you. Who are you?
Ranathanoptis, neurospecialist. But this job isn't worth dying over, or worse. You think the indoctrination only affects prisoners? Sooner or later, Saren will want to dissect my brain too.
And there you go. Like she said, you think indoctrination only affects prisoners? We are going to dig into this.
I thought this was a breeding facility.
Not this level. We're studying Sovereign's effect on organic minds. At least that's what I assumed. Saren kept us in the dark as much as possible.
You helped him and you do not even know why?
I didn't have the option of negotiating. This position is a little more permanent than I had expected. But I can help you. This elevator behind me goes.
She did have the option of negotiating. She didn't need to come here. And she just opened the door before we made our decision. So now we have no reason not to make a moral decision here. Before I let you go, you're gonna tell me what the hell you're doing here. Explain yourself.
What were you studying here?
It's that ship, Sovereign. It emits some kind of signal. Undetectable, but it's there. I've seen the effects. Saren uses it to influence his followers, to control them. It's called indoctrination. Direct exposure to the signal turns you into a mindless slave, like the Solarian test subjects. But there's collateral damage, too.
And what do you mean by collateral damage?
What do you mean by collateral damage?
Sovereign's signal is too strong. Spend too much time near the ship and you feel it, like a tingle at the back of the skull. It's like a whisper you can't quite hear. You're compelled to do things, but you don't know why. You just obey. Eventually, you just stop thinking for yourself. It happens to everyone at the facility. My first test subject was the man I replaced. Now I just want to get out of here before it happens to me.
So she paints it up like she had no choice here, but she signed on for this. They came to her, gave her an offer, said that they had somebody working on this, and then they had a problem with him, so she needs to come run tests on that subject. She came here, saw that the man she used to work for was now a mindless husk, dissected him, prodded him, poked him, like the Solarian said, cut him up, ran experiments. And now she just has a free way out now that we're attacking. She says she had no choice, but at the end of the day, she's tortured, mutilated, ran experiments on POWs, prisoners of war. She's done all kinds of fucked up shit here. And you can say you didn't have a choice, but she had a choice to come here, and she definitely had a choice to continue. You can say that it was a tough choice, because at the end of the day, I'm sure it was pretty much like, do this or you'll be in the box getting test run on. But you still have a choice. You can put a pistol in your mouth. You can walk away, you could jump off the roof. Like, I would like to believe that I am enough of a man of moral conscience that if somebody pointed a gun at me and said, torture all these innocent people and run experiments or you're dead, I would like to believe that I would just close my eyes and tell them to kiss my ass and then let the chips fall where they may, right? She did have a choice. She just has a free way out now to chub it up and say like, oh, well, it wasn't me. I didn't have a choice. This is a permanent position. I never wanted any of this to happen. But at the end of the day, how many innocent lives and blood is on her hands? Immeasurable. There's what, like 6 Solarians inside that one crate, 5 in the next room. We've killed like 20 on our way in here. And then the mere fact that Saren is studying indoctrination here would imply that he's also suffering from collateral damage, right? When he signed on, he probably thought he could be like the big swinging dick of the galaxy. He can influence this. He can save the world, right? He'll be immune to it, but he can use it. But the second the indoctrination tingle starts getting at the back of his skull, he panics, and now he's trying to figure out how he can cure himself or resist or whatever he's trying to do here. So that implies that his resistance to indoctrination is either waning or he has very big concerns about how expendable he is as an asset.
Why is Saren researching this? Isn't he the one controlling it?
The signal comes from the ship. It makes us obey Saren, but I don't think he controls it. Not exactly. I think he's scared it might be affecting him.
It tracks.
Indoctrination is subtle. By the time the effects become noticeable, it's usually too late.
Tell me more about this signal.
Signal's not exactly the right word. There's some kind of energy field emanating from the ship. It changes thought patterns. Over time, days, maybe a week, it weakens your will. You become easier to manipulate and control, but it's a degenerative condition. There's a balance between control and usefulness. The less freedom a subject maintains, the less capable it becomes.
And we're about to get huge bombshells about how all this works in the next room after we deal with Rana here. But essentially, like she said, the stronger the signal, the more direct control you have, but the less capable and independent the subject is. So they become less effective. So you have to balance the tightrope of, well, I want to convince you, but I need you to think that you want to do it, because if I straight up make you do it, you'll be a mindless Zerg, and that's eventually what leads to husks and those wailing lunatic Solarians we passed downstairs. And here's the deal with Rana. I'm pretty sure you already know what decision I'm going to make here, given the fact that I said this is where my renegade choices begin and how I just framed her nonsense story, but she has too much blood on her hands. She chose to come here, she did it for money. She chose to stay here, she did it for money. She carved people up, she chose to run the test, she chose to dissect and kill her predecessor, she chose to dissect and kill and indoctrinate and test on all the captured Solarian prisoners of war, which is just about, against just about every single moral convention or conditions of war, terms of engagement. It's pretty much just about against all that stuff in existence. she's not going to get out of here alive. Even if she isn't indoctrinated, which I don't believe that she wouldn't be scot-free of that either, right? Because she's been here for weeks. If it's affecting Saren and it affected her predecessor, why would it not be affecting her? But even if that wasn't the case, she doesn't deserve to be free after what she did here. Absolutely not. She murdered and tortured and killed people for money, and now she's trying to get a quick eject button, but I'm not the eject button.
You conducted brutal experiments on helpless test subjects. You helped Saren. You don't get to live.
Correct.
I just did what I was told. I didn't have a choice. I'm sorry.
There's always a choice. Everybody watching this video, do some introspection here, right? If somebody put a gun in your face and told you to do the stuff that she's done, would you do it? Or would you tell them to stick it up their ass and just let the chips fall where they may? Because I'd like to believe I would say stick it up your ass. Like, maybe when she first got here, you can argue that she didn't know, but by the time she finished cutting up her predecessor and doing all that, she knew. And by the time she tested the first Solarian, she knew. But she took the second on the table, and the third on the table, and the fourth on the table, and the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth. No, she's guilty as charged. She had plenty of decisions and ways to do things here. She didn't even try and send an encrypted message out of this place to burn it to the ground, right? She didn't even bother. When you look at things like Lisbeth Bainham on the Exogeny colony, she was about to get tossed into the Thorian as a test subject because of how hard she resisted that. This doctor didn't resist a thing, went along with it while her bank account got fatter. I'm good. You're gonna go tell your excuses to the afterlife. Someone else can sort that out.
Sorry doesn't help your victims.
Correct.
No! No!
That's the Nuremberg trials. Except we don't need a committee because we're in the middle of a war zone and I know what's the right thing to do there. We can't get justice for those Solarians or her predecessor, to a lesser degree, but definitely the Solarians. We can't get justice for them. It's too late for that. They're mindless husks. They're never coming back. But we can avenge them. Right, we can't bring them back, but we can put her in the same situation that all of her victims are in. What she did to them, I did to her. And that's fair. That's the only sense of justice you can get out of that, I think. And this next part, man, is one of the coolest things in the whole Mass Effect trilogy. Probably top 5 of my favorite moments in the entire Mass Effect trilogy. And probably the biggest amount of bombshells that you will get throughout the entire series. I love this portion. This is cool as hell. By the end of this conversation, you guys are going to understand why I think the Reapers are the coolest sci-fi enemy in media history. And why I think they're going to have a real hard time making something that matches up to this. I love this portion of this game. Here's another Prothean beacon that they snagged up. And they get sucked into the eye again, Shepard. I like how as this game progresses, you start to see him make more sense of these scrambled visions too. He's still working through the cipher and everything else in his brain, but he's definitely starting to get a better picture. And that's the beacon we hit. Another piece of the puzzle for us.
I get the feeling something bad is about to happen.
You might be right.
You are not Saren.
What is that? Some kind of VI interface?
Rudimentary creatures of blood and flesh. You touch my mind, fumbling in ignorance, incapable of understanding.
I do not think this is a VI.
I don't think so either.
Existence so far beyond your own, you cannot even imagine it. I am beyond your comprehension. I am sovereign.
Sovereign isn't just some Reaper ship Saren found. It's an actual Reaper.
Reaper, a label created by the Protheans to give voice to their destruction. In the end, what they chose to call us is irrelevant. We simply are
It's so
The Protheans
cool.
vanished 50,000 years ago. You could not have been there. It's impossible.
Organic life is nothing but a genetic mutation. An accident. Your lives are measured in years and decades. You wither and die. We are eternal, the pinnacle of evolution and existence. Before us, you are nothing. Your extinction is inevitable. We are the end of everything.
Imagine facing off against this thing and it just straight up tells you nothing you do matters, you're insignificant, your extinction is inevitable. We are just the end. It is insane. I love the Reapers so much. The whole attitude of this artificial intelligence, the way he talks to us, or the way it talks to us, everything that he says, every single word, it's so well crafted and well written.
There is an entire galaxy of races united and ready to face you.
Confidence born of ignorance. The cycle cannot be broken. Cycle? What cycle? The pattern has repeated itself more times than you can fathom. Organic civilizations rise, evolve, advance, and at the apex of their glory, they are extinguished. The Protheans were not the first. They did not create the Citadel. They did not forge the mass relays. They merely found them. The legacy of my kind.
So the Protheans, who we considered to be the pinnacle of everything that made everything, they were just playing at this the same way we are. They just stumbled onto it. They advanced, and then these guys came and wiped them all out, down to the last man. Erased every trace of their existence, and then bounced. That's how effective of a fighting force this is.
Why would you construct the mass relays, then leave them for someone else to find?
Your civilization is based on the technology of the mass relays. Our technology. By using it, your society develops along the paths we desire. We impose order on the chaos of organic evolution. You exist because we allow it, and you will end because we demand it.
What a line.
They are harvesting us, letting us advance to the level they need, then wiping us out.
And isn't that just chilling? Every 50,000 years they play us like fiddles, so we advance the way that they like to make it easy to break us. And they come in, wipe us out, erase all facts of history that happened, and let it all start over again. Let the tadpoles turn into men, which advance, and then they come back 50,000 years each and wipe it all out.
What do you want from us? Slaves? Resources?
My kind transcends your very understanding. We are each a nation, independent, free of all weakness. You cannot even grasp the nature of our existence.
A lot of that is probably true, although he says that, or it says that they are the pinnacle of evolution, but how could they be? They must have been created, because AI don't come from nowhere, right? They must have been a start to the Reapers. An organic life form at some point must have created them, because AI is an actual life. It's an imitation of life. And the only way it learns to imitate life the way that it does is by being created by it and learning and observing it. So this thing has an origin point as much as we do, despite the grandiose speech.
Where did you come from? Who built you?
We have no beginning. We have no end. We are infinite. Millions of years after your civilization has been eradicated and forgotten, we will endure.
And the coolest line of all this is when he said, "You exist because we allow it, and you will end because we demand it."
Where are the rest of the Reapers? Are you the last of your kind?
We are legion. The time of our return is coming. Our numbers will darken the sky of every world. You cannot escape your doom.
The Reapers are so cool, man.
You're not even alive. Not really. You're just a machine. And machines can be broken.
Your words are as empty as your future. I am the vanguard of your destruction. This exchange is over.
You struck a nerve there, huh? It's imitating life a little too well there. Sounded like we heard its ego.
Hit me, Joker.
That ship's Sovereign? It's moving. I don't know what you did down there, but that thing just pulled a turn that would shear any of our ships in half. It's coming your way and it's coming hard. You need to wrap things up in there fast.
This console is no longer functioning. Ideas, Commander Shepard?
Let's head to the
Continue
breeding.
the mission.
Joker can pick us up after we set the nuke.
Yeah, for as much as it gave its big speeches there about being infallible, clearly it's not, because we just pissed that thing off. We said that it wasn't really alive, not really, it's just a machine, a little crap toy that we can break, and it pissed it off so much it turned around so fast it broke the windows out in this facility. Pulled a turn that would shear any of Alliance hardware, including the Normandy ships, clean in half from the G-forces and the torque. So while it's advanced and it's pretty strong, it's not infallible. There's some human error built inside there too from the thing that it's imitating or whatever created it. Anyways, we've been going for around 40 minutes here, so after that cool ass section, I think that's a perfect time to split this part on up. So thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, please do check out those links in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you soon with more Mass Effect. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Peace.